and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elaina Glam, or Lady with Deluxe, that's here on Fridays. And Fridays are always a drag. And I have here fabulous Wilma Fingerdoo. So we're gonna be doing this beautiful drag look together. Her winter wonderland, and me, the raging bitch. So we're gonna be doing this with...
So your regular look. Your regular look.
We're going to be doing this with Alexa Stone Chapter 1 Sensorium Beauty Palette. It's a beautiful palette Wilma just got recently. So we're going to be dabbing in all of this beauty. And just talking regular stuff. It's a get ready with me video. So if you guys are interested, then keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Wilma and me. And comment and like all the good stuff. It's good for the algorithm. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Wilma and I are gonna be communicating through my phone, so hopefully it's gonna run smoothly. And we're gonna be using the Alexa Stone Sensorium Beauty Palette.
Now you got yours, and I saw you do your tutorial, and I said something. I complimented, like, nice look, or whatever, how you do, and you said, "Oh, do you have this palette?" And I was like, "No." And I explained to you at the time that I really wasn't sure who Alexa Stone was. I'd heard of her, but I didn't really know. And then one of my Patreoners, a fabulous guy by the name of David Burkett, sent this to me, and I was so thrilled because you had said, "Oh, you should get it." So I immediately then looked Alexa Stone up on YouTube, and I have to say I'm very impressed with her. I thought she was a crazy plastic surgery queen, and she's really more of an artist that's using a lot of prosthetics and things, and I really enjoy that. Like, that I love. And so I was very, very excited at that time, as I got to know her, to know that this was her palette. Now, she also did one with...
Makeup Revolution.
Yes, and I'm not a big fan of Makeup Revolution, like, particularly, especially as a British brand. I don't feel the quality's good enough to pay for shipping.
Yeah, some of it, but not all of it, no.
Yeah, so I and because I didn't know who Alexa Stone was, I just ignored that palette. But this one, when it was sent to me, I've used it a couple of times, and it is very impressive. So you had said, "Oh, let's do something in tandem," and that's how we're here. So what colors are you sticking to?
Well, I'm going to ignore the holidays, because I'm over holidays by now. So I just want to do my favorite pinks and purples. So I'm going to do a little cut grease moment with all the purples and pinks. And maybe add a little something and shimmer in the lid.
Nice. I'm going to do kind of like a winter, not necessarily holiday, but winter. Because I have a nice little white fur cap on my wig, and... Also, I really enjoy the videos where people put little snowflakes on their eyes, and I've never done that before, so I figure this is a weekend of firsts.
Since I had Wilma on my channel on Monday, so if you guys are interested, you can go back to Monday Live. I'm going to probably put a link here. We did a look of Alice Atlantis, and Wilma did for the first time. She did face paint, and it was amazing. So I'm so glad you went out of your comfort zone. It was great.
Yeah.
And I think when you compare us, you can see that I was a little more reserved and you went full ham. So I think if I were doing it again, I would go heavier. Because you couldn't really, you could see the lines and stuff, but it wasn't as detailed, I felt, as yours. You really like made some real lines across your body, which were spectacular. So maybe I'm hoping that I've learned a little something from that today.
Okay, before we start, I'm going to borrow Jorge again. Jorge, drink.
Oh, he's not around. All I have is some Coke Zero. Cheers.
Cheers. Jorge is really cheap. It's easy to lure him in.
Yeah, he'll go anywhere as long as the air flight's paid.
So Wilma, tell me, what shades you usually go with first? Do you want to go with dark shades first or light shades?
Yeah, I don't know. I really a game changer for me was watching Make Me Up Missa and her makeup style, and I'd never seen anyone go from dark to light. But what I used to do was put the light color down and then blend everything to the dark.
Yeah, that way it's easier to blend some shades, some of the very pigmented black, it's easier. But on the other hand, you're gonna lose pigmentation too.
I'm not a huge fan of like putting a lot of makeup on and then wiping it all off to cut my crease. Like I feel like that's a wasted time. Like I'd rather not put makeup on my lid. Yeah, I try and keep it as minimal as I can.
Because sometimes I see even good MUAs, they start with the dark and then they wipe it off. I'm like, well, I know the look in advance, what I'm gonna do, so I don't even go there, so what's the point?
I bought a mystery box from ColourPop that I hate.
Oh my god, me too.
I watched your video after and I was like, oh good, okay, you hated yours too. And like I got doubles in that one mystery box. Like, yeah, like why do I need two of the same whatevers? And you know, the other thing I notice, I think they sent me two brown eyeliners. Who needs a brown eyeliner? And I realized it's because they've sold out all their black ones. Or they send you a lot of nude lipsticks and nude lip liners, and I don't use nude. So, and it's because those are the ones that are sitting around in the warehouse doing nothing. So, I still like, but you know who has the best mystery bags? And I don't make any money off of this, but I'll tell you, I've never been disappointed, and I've even bought two mystery bags like right away, and then maybe in a week or two, if they're still available, I'll get another one with, say, another purchase of something else, because it's Juvia's Place.
Oh.
My first mystery bag from them was, I guess it was their Valentine's Day mystery box, and when I got the second mystery box, it has totally different things in it, and I wanted them all, so it wasn't like a waste of time or. But like ColourPop, I've only bought one of ColourPops. I'll never buy one from them again.
No, I don't like mystery boxes in general because I feel like you said, they always put something they cannot sell in it. Excuse me while I'm picking my cat hair out of my eyeball. It's like the finest hair. If you guys have cats, they have the finest hair and it lodges in my eyeballs all the time. It's the worst.
Yeah, I don't have pets and I'm okay with that.
I never had pets until like now. It's been years. My husband and I lived alone, and now I felt like I just wanted some love, you know, something, a little baby, because we don't have children. And this baby is everything. I wish I got him sooner because I forgive him for everything. Destroy anything he wants to destroy. Pretty much destroy their furniture already. So tell me, whose makeup style out of the drag queens? Who has your favorite makeup style?
Well, Raven. Raven's the first one. I mean, I've just since her season of Drag Race, just her makeup. In her season, she did that wedding picture where she was marrying herself, and that the black bangs that she had for that, and the red lipstick, like it was gorgeous. And then when she later in that same series did Kelly LeBrock, like she didn't do it on purpose, but she put on a curly tawny wig and the makeup, and she looked just like Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science, and I was like, whoa. And yeah, she's the first queen that I really got into. But before her, Matthew Anderson for sure.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, he was the reason, he's the signature designer of RuPaul's look now. And even though Raven's doing her face now, it's still based off the Matthew Anderson look.
Yeah, I'm going to apply for Raven's second season competition show. Yeah.
No offense, but the people that they have on this season suck.
No, they're good.
They're very, I'm sorry, no. They're very, very amateur-y to me. Like even that, like that guy with the beard is good, but he's really only good at one look. And then that young boy, he's all right, but he's good with non-traditional makeup, which isn't always like, you know, like if you had to do a beauty look, I don't know if he'd be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
And no offense to them, but like they're just, and I really don't like that, the drag queen. I can't think of his name, but he's always, oh, everyone thinks I'm the underdog. It's like, what do you care?
I liked him when they just introduced each other, like the first time around. I picked him as my favorite because I like his makeup look. But now
Well, I like all of them as people. They're all great, but the only people whose makeup really stood out to me was the blonde girl, the drag queen, and the guy with the beard. You know, just because they were so different, all three of them. But the guy with the beard kind of tends to do the same look all the time. That skinny brunette guy, you know, they finally had to tell him to stop doing the same look all the time.
difficult though because we get in our own way and we're so used to the same face. We do the same face. It's so funny. It reminds me of the first time I put people in drag for Halloween. It was 2012 and we were living in Atlanta in an apartment building, and we had a couple of gay guys next door and we're all friends, and they said like, you want to go to the big gay bar for Halloween? I'm like, of course. So like, can you put us in drag? So I put 4 people in drag, myself, my husband, and them 2. And they were providing drinks, so I was getting drunk. But it's so funny, everybody said everybody looks like you. Everybody looked like they had the same face.
Well, we have a drag queen here. Brooklyn Heights' drag mother, Fahrenheit, is a drag queen who's done like pageants in the States. She's really an accomplished queen. And there was a time there, because she had great makeup, and there was a time there where all, you could tell who her drag children were because they all looked the same. You know, it's just, you know, no one was doing makeup like that but that one drag queen, and now they're all doing it. So, you know, it's just interesting. Well, it's also you have to evolve with it too. You know, you can't do the same look for your whole life. If you're not evolving your drag, like with Trixie Mattel, even her colors will change, but the shape is the same. Whereas Kim Chi, the thing that's constant with her is how extreme her makeup is. Like it's very over the top, and you can almost guarantee that no matter what Kim Chi's going to do, it's going to be interesting.
It was picking up of my queen.
Well, you know, I have to say, I wish I liked her makeup more. I have a couple of her palettes. Somebody gifted me her Mojito palette, Virgin Mojito and Mango Tango, and they're spectacular. But that first palette that she did, because here's the thing, when I first started looking at Kim Chi makeup, she didn't have palettes yet. All she had were the concealer, which I hated. I hated her concealer. I bought it, and yeah, I just could not get it to work. It was too thick.
I love it. I'm wearing it now. I have always worn it. I love it so much.
Yeah. Well, I used her red concealer to color block out my eyebrows, and it never worked. It was just awful. And so that was a hard thing for me to kind of get around. And then she didn't really have any palettes, and then all of a sudden the Naomi Smalls Desert Flower one thing came out. But the problem with that palette for me, when I think of Kim Chi, I think like bold color, like excitement and extravagance. And that palette was so boring. Like there seemed to be 3 color palettes and everything else was a brown shade.
Yeah, I felt like that too. There's not enough color.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to appeal to the like a general population, because most people are afraid of color.
Yeah, I get it. Most people don't wear makeup like a drag queen, but if you're a drag queen, I expect different makeup from you. I'm not buying a drag queen's makeup line to walk down the street in nature with children. But I will also say this, I've been so disappointed with Trixie Mattel's makeup. First of all, stuff doesn't get restocked, so like her Summer of Love blush palette is my favorite blush palette, but I'm already hitting pan with stuff, so I'm afraid to use it. So I save it for special occasions. But she had the Bottled Blonde palette. It was terrible. All of the tones in it, there was a black in it that looked green on camera when you held up the palette. And when you did the whole thing, if you started to do a look, you couldn't build up that black and get it darker. So what ended up happening was all your colors would blend together and look like a bruise.
And I feel like her price is a little higher than other brands. And for that price, you expect a little high quality.
Yeah, I think you're much better off buying from Beauty Bay or Be Perfect, paying the shipping and the international import, and waiting 3 or 4 weeks for it, because you're going to use those palettes more. Like I have both Plant Gay and the other one in my drawers, and I don't. Her best palette, Trixie Mattel's best palette was Daytime Realness. It's a little one like a cassette. It's all blues. It is stunning. So the problem was I got that one first. Someone sent me that. I loved it so much that I've been like, I have 2 more palettes from her, and they together aren't half as good as Daytime Realness. So I don't think I'll buy anything more from her, but her lipsticks are fantastic. I use Stacy all the time, and I hate lip gloss, but her lip glosses are fantastic. And and as I say, her Summer of Love blush palette is spectacular. She has the Maud About You one, and there's one like lavender that's got a silver highlighter. I don't like those two. And she recently just came out with a very dark, neutral contour blush palette. Like it's more contour and bronzer that is really great for like darker skin tones. Like there's nothing that says pasty white Canadian in it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that she's doing stuff like that.
Since we have Wilma here, we're only chatting about makeup. Why don't you tell my audience a little bit more about yourself? Like, introduce yourself properly.
Well, hello, I'm Wilma Fingerdoo, host of the Fingerdoo Review here on YouTube. I review RuPaul's Drag Race Holland, Drag Race España. I will be doing some reviews of Painted with Raven, Drag Race Italia. I've just been trying to catch up. I just finished the season of Canada's Drag Race. And I also do movie reviews, not of new movies, but of classics, movies that people haven't seen maybe in a while I do my makeup. I really like watching makeup videos, but I'm not a makeup artist, and I feel doing a tutorial. I used to do them. I have a couple out there, but I called them Get Ready With Me's, but that's not who I am. And so I found it easier for me to do something where I was talking. And Bailey Sarian has that Murder and Makeup series that's fantastic. And in that series, she doesn't really even, she tells you what makeup she's using, but she doesn't tell you the brush. Oh, I'm dipping into this now. You know, there's none of that. It's just full on makeup. And I quite I quite enjoy that. So I do movie reviews called Makeup and Movies, and my latest one just went online. It's for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and I have about 12 now in the series. I really enjoy doing them. They're fun.
Well, Wilma was being very modest because she's a stand-up comedian as well. Like, I would kill to go see you in the show. I would love to see you.
My day job is a stand-up comic. Or at least it was before we all got locked down. I haven't performed on stage as a comic in almost 2 years.
I haven't danced taught a fitness class on stage in about almost 2 years.
I used to work in film doing wardrobe, so I've met a lot of famous people. And I just am not interested in meeting famous people anymore. Like, if I were to meet somebody famous, I would want to meet them because I'm working with them, not because I stood for 8 hours in a line, you know?
Well, not like that. I mean, like, casually. Like, I met so many celebrity queens in Rocco's. Like, every time I go to Rocco's, there's somebody from Drag Race there. Yeah. Carrie Colby, she was there. I met one of the new queens, Carrie Colby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and she seemed very nice. Obviously, it was just like a short meeting, and she took a selfie with me. But she's gorgeous, beautiful in person.
I had to interview, like, that was the thing when Drag Race was first starting. I was hosting a radio show in Toronto. And so I interviewed Sharon Needles, I interviewed Jinx Monsoon, Bianca Del Rio, Michelle Visage, Manila Luzon. Like I've interviewed all these people, Ben de la Creme, and what's fun is I had to go to years later. I think after Katya, whatever season Katya was on, they were doing like a tour, a drag race tour, and they were in Toronto, and I got a press pass. So I went to talk to the queens again. And what was really funny is I had interviewed Ben de la Creme that day on the radio. I hadn't met her. And I had interviewed Ginger Minge. And at that point, I had already interviewed Sharon Needles. And what was great was I had met Sharon Needles. I interviewed her in person. And when I went up to her at the meet and greet just to say hi, I was just going to say, "Oh, you probably don't remember. I interviewed you the year you won. Blah blah blah." She knew who I was out of drag. She's like, "Oh, Wilma Fingerdoo, how are you?"
Nice. That's real nice.
Yeah. And when I interviewed her that day, when she walked into the room where all the press was, I was the only one in drag. Mind you, at that time, I still had a goatee. And I used to only have like, because I was only on camera from the shoulders up, I had this like nude illusion top with a ruffle, like a ruffled dress, like a Spanish dress ruffle that went over my t-shirts. So I would put that on. I'd be literally from the ruffle down. I had normal clothes.
So you were bearded queen? You were bearded queen?
Yeah. And so when she walked into the room, she said, "Oh my God, I am so serious," she said to me. And I was like, "You don't know who I am. You don't. Like there's no way." And that just impressed me. I'd rather, that's how I'd like to. I feel like Ben de la Creme, I went up to her and said, "Oh, I'm so glad to meet you. I interviewed you this afternoon." And she's like, "You're not Wilma Fingerdoo." And Ginger Minge is another person. I chat with her on Twitter, but again, it's not like I don't pretend that she remembers exactly who I am. I just think that she's being very, very nice. My favorite person that I met, though, to interview was Bob the Drag Queen. I had to interview Bob the Drag. It was a live stage thing where I kind of hosted a stage event here in Toronto where Bob the Drag Queen, Alaska, Courtney Act, and Willem were in town, and I had to interview them on stage. We had questions from the audience and all that, and yeah, I met them all and chatted with them, and they were lovely. Like, but I had to meet them. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, "Oh my God," and you freak out because you love them, and
I'm that person. I'm that person that I'm a fan that I freak out. I'm like, "Oh my God, can I take a picture?"
yeah, yeah. And lots of people do, and that's wonderful. I think that like that's the point. That's one of the benefits of doing this is you start to build up your TVQ, your recognizability, and you want those fans to react to you because what else are you doing it for otherwise? And
well, a lot of those people are really nice in person, and Gottmik was very sweet. I met Gottmik out of drag, and she was like real nice.
Most celebrities are nice out of like when you meet them because what are they going to be an asshole? Like a lot of people actually are. They reach a point where it's like, "Oh yeah, you're mean," or whatever. Not everybody, but you do meet those ones that are disappointing. And
well, I just meet people accidentally because I go to drag shows a lot, and I just meet those.
Well, that's why with my Chinwag series, like I love that because I'm contacting people I want to talk to.
Yeah, I was so excited when they did an interview with Victoria Scone. I loved her, and she was so nice and genuine with you, and I really got to know her better.
Well, she commented on a post I did, and I don't even think the post was about her. It was just a post about Drag Race UK in general or something, and she commented, and other people have done that. Jada Essence Hall commented on one of my posts, just commented. That's how I got my chinwag with Lawrence Cheney. She commented on something, and I said to my Patreoners, "Oh, I would love to do a chinwag with Lawrence Cheney, but I don't know if it's because I'm Canadian or what, but my attitude is, oh, I don't want to bother her." And so my Patreon said, bother her, bother her. So I did, and that just happened to be when they were all down for the COVID break. And so she was more than interested to do an interview with me. And I've sent my Patreoners also wanted me to talk to the Vivian. And so I sent her management team and her like an informal request to interview her. And this was before she had to cancel her tour because of the new lockdowns. So I'm hoping maybe to hear from her.
Yeah, I would love to see the Vivian. Yeah. She was very hands-on, commenting on my YouTube channel multiple times, and I was like, okay.
Personally, like this is why I don't like to get to know people. Maybe they're assholes.
That's very true.
And they're allowed to be assholes. This is the other thing we forget. They're completely allowed to be assholes. And then you get people like Fifi O'Hara, who turns around and is super, super nice to people.
Yeah, Fifi O'Hara befriended me on Facebook. Like friends. Before, when she was on Drag Race, I was following her on YouTube. And she's always been nice in person. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. But, some people are different in a competition. Some people also, being on TV was still new to drag queens when she was on. That was season 4. She was the reason that Drag Race developed like the mean edit, the mean girl edit. We need drama. Who's gonna be the Fifi O'Hara? Roxy Andrews, get her, and it's nobody goes on these shows expecting to be these people, but it's a show. It's a show, and they're doing their job, and they are going to manipulate anything and everything that you do to make the...
Exactly. That's what I always think. They manipulate them and ask them certain questions to get the answers. Yeah.
Well, also they're separated from their support group, and you're not on the internet anymore, so now you're not even able to look stuff up or talk to your mother or whatever. And it freaks people out, and they want you exhausted and freaking out and all of that. I think the first 4 or 5 seasons, it was more about the competition. Then it got to a point, I remember she was an interweb queen. You did a face of hers. She kept going, nyah, nyah.
Oh, Ariel Versace?
Thank you, Ariel Versace. She came on and she had all of her branding. Same with Laganja Estranja. She came on that show and she was ready. I'm ready to be a star. And those things blew up.
Yeah, but Laganja is actually, I met her multiple times at kimchi parties, and she was real nice in person.
Well, how could she not be? She was such a pill on the show. If she wants to have any kind of career, she'd better be nice. Because I bet a lot of people don't like her because of how she was on the show. Bless her.
Have you ever interviewed Bianca?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, I love her. Well, because she's a stand-up comic too, right? So when I talk to her like a stand-up comic. I don't talk to her like a Drag Race queen, because it's a different thing that she does. Trixie Mattel has started doing stand-up now. Bob the Drag Queen is a stand-up. I really enjoyed talking to Bob the Drag Queen because she's a stand-up queen.
She's funny. She's always been funny.
She's so good on We're Here. But a lot of these queens, like Ben de la Creme, Bianca Del Rio, Sharon Needles, Jinx Monsoon, they all had a plan before they even did Drag Race. They were all going to be making albums or performing on stage or touring or something. They all had that in their sights. And the problem is a lot of queens that go on Drag Race have never thought about being anything but a drag queen in a bar. And so I feel like some queens go on Drag Race, they're a little better equipped for it.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But being a lip syncing drag queen's only going to take you so far.
Yeah, that's true. Although they do tour, they do other things.
Yeah, but still, they tour for how long? A year, 2 years? Like at some point, somebody's going to get sick and tired of Something Wong getting sick and not being able to sing her own song. You know what I mean? Like, you really need to have a follow through. And I think a lot of these queens don't really. They've never thought about it beyond lip syncing in a bar. And the ones that do start to branch out and do other things, like Ariel Versace had a wig company before she did Drag Race, but you never hear of it. I would have spun my time on Drag Race into, more people have heard about Serena Chacha's wig company than Ariel Versace's. Like, I remember talking to Sharon Needles about her album before she'd even started recording it. She'd always wanted to do an album. She had songs written. And Bianca Del Rio was hosting international shows. Like, she used to do this Halloween cruise every year that went from, I think, LA to Mexico and back, and it was a huge Halloween event, and she was the host of the whole thing. And no one had ever heard, like, no, most people had never heard of her. This is before Drag Race. Like, she wasn't that famous. Like, she wasn't Varla Jean Merman or Coco Peru famous, but she did that before people really knew who she was. So when she ended up on Drag Race, she had a really great follow through. And those are the queens I'm interested in. Like, those ones for me, like, they have their sights set on bigger things.
Yeah, I love purple and green together, so I ended up doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of queens have been doing that. Like Raven did that look, and then Brooklyn Heights did the same look, purple and green.
Yeah, the villain colors.
Hmm? Well, I have villain eyebrows today, like they.
Yeah, you look great.
Don't talk to me.
Now, if I were in a bar and you walked in, I would be like, "Who is that?" Like, now that's somebody you want to say hello to.
Oh, it's so funny. Last time I went to Rocco's, and that we were just having dinner, and it was that Carrie Colby was there. They introduced her, and then they walk around the audience like talking to birthday girls, their birthday people, their engagement party. And then they came up, well, we have a queen in the audience. I was in full drag, and I'm like, oh. She took me on stage, she let me dance. I had like, my heels a little, like a 10-inch heels, and I had 2 glasses of wine in me. I was like, oh my God, I'm so gonna fall off. I was barely alive. It was so funny.
But you love drag. Like, I think I would love to go to a drag event with you to watch you be in your element. Like, you would just be like, like, you're who Drag Race is made for. You're such a fan. You're such a lover of drag.
Yeah, I think it's drag has always excited me because it's like such a self-expression and something so freeing about it. And the regular makeup looks are just so boring. And it's like I feel like life is too short, and you want to do something crazy and just be something some creature that I love to be.
Well, that's the thing. I remember back in the 80s, like Boy George, Pete Burns, like all of these British people were wearing drag. And back then, British makeup, even then, was like the tits. I remember like blue mascara came in from Britain, and no one had ever seen anything like that. And it was just so impressive. And now here I am, like, 30 years later. One of the reasons I do like Juvia's Place is because I feel like Juvia's Place is like saturated and bright like British makeup is. I really enjoyed your Raven video because Raven's style of makeup, and again, like RuPaul, i.e., Matthew Anderson. Like, I thought those styles were really good, but you don't see anybody talking about them. So when you did it, it was like, oh, finally somebody's talking about it.
But it's so funny. I got a lot of comments the same way. People say there's no Raven tutorials. I'm so glad you did one.
Yeah. Well, and why should Raven do them? You know what I mean? Like, that's her look. Also, once you kind of look at what it is she does, you realize, well, it's not very complicated. It's just that nobody does that.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. It's just certain angles, certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say I was very impressed with Crystal Versace because she had that one look that she could do in any color and in under an hour. Like, I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't know how it lasts in any kind of competition show because I'm so slow.
Yeah.
I just enjoy the process. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think I'm gonna get adventurous and use Kimchi Chic palette, the blush palette. It's so bright.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna use the pink.
I was going to buy that palette, but I can't remember what happened. There was some reason that I didn't.
It's like very pigmented though, especially if you have light skin tone. You have to go easy.
Yeah. But I'm a drag queen. It's not about skin tone, it's about color.
But you should watch Drag Race Italia. Oh my god, there was...
I want to. I saw the first one, and they started fighting right away.
Oh wait, later. There's gonna be some fights they couldn't show. They couldn't show on TV. That was like off TV. It was so bad.
Yeah, those Italians, they don't pull their punches.
Okay guys, so we all done. We did a little bit something off camera. As you can see, Wilma is looking so pretty, you know? All winter wonderland and white. She's a very sophisticated woman. And I'm just
I have my sleeves.
I'm a beach face hoe. Like, don't talk to me.
One of us had to be.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this chat with Wilma. We kind of went off the, any topic with no particular topic in mind. If you guys want to see
Those
this
are the best
again,
chats.
why don't you send us questions? Like, what would you like us to talk about? So we could do something like this again, maybe on Wilma's channel, and we can talk about different topics and something more organized and not just like blah 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 out of place. So we use this beautiful palette that Wilma already held it up. So let us know what you think about the palette. And Alexis Stone, I mean, obviously I'm a fan. Alexis Stone been in some shady situations, but I think she's been doing better lately. So let us know in the comments below what you think. Like, how's our makeup? How's our beauty? What do you think about drag queens? Whatever we were talking about, if you had the patience to listen to this. And leave us a comment below. Let us know if we like to see another one of his. Obviously, I love Wilma. She's my good Judy. And I would love to do something like this again with her. So give us a final word, Wilma. What do you got to say?
I would just like to say, if you are looking for a palette with versatility, there couldn't be two more different looks than what Elaina and I did, and Alexis Stone's Sensorium palette will not steer you wrong. On top of that, if you do not already subscribe to Elaina, what the heck is wrong with you? She is one of the hardest working queens on the interweb. 3 videos a week with her. Fridays are a drag. I just love you. You're one of those people that I discovered on YouTube that brightens my day. I'm so thrilled to have met you through here, and I'm so glad that our friendship is building. And I'm also so impressed with how you're building your brand with Kimchi, Makeup Revolution. You really encouraged me to be a better makeup artist. I mean, I did little snowflakes on my eyelids today because of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I would never otherwise.
I love the snowflakes. It looks amazing. Well, Wilma is gorgeous, so if you guys are not subscribed to Wilma yet, something wrong with you, obviously, so you have to go to Wilma to subscribe. All the links, all the cards are going to be somewhere up here, so you'll see her fabulous self talking about, talking smack about drag queens. So Wilma got great reviews on her channel. It's so much fun to watch. She always got an opinion. She's got her drag daughters with her, talking about Drag Race.
Not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time, but a lot of times. It's a fun conversation, so please do subscribe to her, follow her on Instagram, on Twitter, all the good stuff. So subscribe to both of us, like this video, comment below, and thank you for watching. Thank you to all my patrons. I love you guys. The links to my Patreon group is also in the description box. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in my next fabulous video, darlings. Bye!
Mwah!